Sue's kind of a forgotten woman. She's a woman who is invisible to most people in her life, including her husband and her sister and her at work. She's just a woman that nobody pays much attention to. She's looking for attention. She wants to be loved and she wants to be paid attention to. And she doesn't have any of those things. And the way she goes about it is pretty twisted. She wants to be noticed, and she starts to tell this lie. And she starts to realize that she's good at it. And people believe her. And she starts to find her power in that telling this lie, and she kind of transforms. But then she has no idea that Carl was involved with all these other people, and these strange people start showing up at her house, and she's like, who are you, and what's going on? And it starts to get scary, and she starts to think, maybe I got in too deep. Sue has decided she's going to make an effort to come out of her shell, come out of her hole, and connect with people and be a better version of herself. And I think every one of us has done that, whether or not it's, I'm going to diet tomorrow, I'm going to start this diet, and I am going to finally have the body I want. I am going to listen to these self-help tapes, and I'm going to stop, the rut that my brain is in telling me that I'm not good enough, I'm not, and those kinds of things I think everyone can relate to. And I definitely relate to that. So I know that desire to want to be a better, happier person. And I think that's what Sue's journey is. She just wants to feel connected and feel loved and we all want that. Tate Taylor and I have been friends for a very long time, and I have been in, up until recently, every single movie Tate's ever made, from handheld little things back in 2000 whatever, all of his independent movies. He and Octavia Spencer and Melissa McCarthy, a bunch of us who have been friends, and we just do this with Tate. He makes everything so much fun, and this was the first movie that it was sort of about me. He was looking for a role that would be, I would be the lead in a movie, which is what I've always been looking for. And he found this script and he gave it to me, and I thought it was it was a great read, really exciting. And I love the fact that it's kind of, even though it's about Sue's journey, there are so many other incredible characters in this movie. It's kind of a giant ensemble. And we've gotten the greatest cast together. I'm so excited. Mila, oh my God, Mila Kunis has quickly become one of my favorite actresses. She is the Nancy is such a desperate character. She desperately wants to be Gloria Michaels. She wants to be famous in the same way that Sue wants to be not famous. She just wants to be noticed. Everyone wants something in this movie, and they want it badly. The stakes are high. Well, I worked with Regina. I just did one scene with her, but I already know she's a force to be reckoned with. She's going to make me have to work hard for this. She's going to make me have to be a really good liar, because she stares at me and she's very still, and she looks at me and feels like she's looking right through me, and which is great because she kind of scares me. It's just twisted and funny and dark and violent. All the things that I would want to, has all the elements that would draw me to a movie. The script really grabbed me. I thought it was incredibly exciting and dark and funny and violent, and just a mix of a lot of, kind of reminded me of a kind of Coen Brothers kind of film. And I was excited by that.
You know, it's a weird character because she's just so selfish and also not the nicest, and just it was just a fun, weird woman to play um, that I'd never really had the opportunity to play before and also play around with. And you know, it's just one of those characters where you show up to work and you just have fun playing with her. Thematically, it touches upon, you know, the idea of being invisible and then all of a sudden having attention, what that attention does to a person. A local news reporter, very local, very small town local, who so desperately wants to hit the big times and go to, you know, the big city and be a reporter there. So she works really hard for a story that doesn't involve a missing cat. She really wants the good stuff, the juicy information. So she's a little cutthroat, a little disconnected, and incredibly selfish. Allison is going to go down in history as one of my favorite actresses to work with, and also as one of my favorite people. She's awesome. She's great. She's, first of all, we all know she's very talented. So, brilliant woman, but she doesn't do a thing about it. Like, she still likes to have fun and she's really present in a scene. And it's not like she comes in and be like, I'm going to do this and that's just what I'm going to do. And here's my shtick and everyone else work around me. Like, she's incredibly inclusive. I love Allison. She's great. Also, for whatever reason, can play a crazy person like nobody's business. I mean, Sue is a little bit quirky, and Allison in real life, oddly not that quirky, but boy, can she tap into it really well and make it be infectious and also relatable and sympathetic. I done one scene with Regina, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore because I keep laughing. And like, I don't say this lightly. There's something about her that makes me laugh. Always, I've always found her to be one of the funniest actresses out there. Tate's awesome. He's like a hoot. He's so supportive of his actors and he just wants to have fun and he wants everyone to play and have fun and he doesn't come in with a preconceived notion as to what the character has to be or needs to be. He very much trusts the actors that he hires and allows them to bring whatever backstory the crazy actor wants to bring to the character. He actually doesn't even care. He just wants you to have fun and enjoy and be super collaborative on set. He's great. It's weird. It's like a quirky tone. It's a little bit funny, a little bit dark, a little bit serious, and a little bit lighthearted, all in one scene. Every scene has layers upon layers upon layers because it actually deals with a really messed up situation in a not in a lighthearted way, in a really dark matter, but with lighthearted dialogue. It's a very fine line. Amanda, who wrote the script, um, is going to be one of those writers that is going to go down as a specific voice. Like you'll know when you read her script that it is very much written by this one particular writer because it's in tone unlike anything that I've ever read. I hope you cry a little. I hope you laugh a little. And I hope you take a minute to reevaluate what is important to you in life. Because I think so much of this has to do with Sue's struggle, but also her journey to find self worth based on things that she has in her life and desires and wants. And it's a really beautiful, sad story that I found to be incredibly relatable.
I really love Mina. When I read her for the first time, it was one of those roles that, it kind of like popped out of the page. And I think that the screws in my mind were turning as to like how I'm going to play this. She's a very special villain. Tate told me he loves the weirdness, and I think that's another really cool thing about this specific villain is that most of her evil is grounded in this kind of weirdness. I think that when I was first reading the script, what I loved about it is that it's very evocative of a sense of place, and I really love movies that you can literally feel where they are. And so that was a really important component as I was reading it. But then also just all the harebrained antics. There are all these different people coming from different places, and they're all interacting. And I also thought it was incredibly funny and incredibly well written in general. First of all, she herself is an oxymoron. She's, she kind of looks very non-threatening, and she doesn't look at all like a villain or a criminal or whatever. So there's already that juxtaposition going on, and so to layer that, you can either play them like a kind of a traditional villain, which is like very very aggressive and coming in hot, or you can like take a pause and really like be calm, and but also crazy. So I think, I don't know, I just always look at that balance. Her dad is a very powerful criminal that wanted his money cleaned through the bank, where Sue's husband works, and she is very angry because she hasn't gotten paid yet, and she shows up with with her partner Ray, where they have a very odd little relationship, and she comes in pretty hot. I'd say the first scene, yeah. When this movie first came to the table, even before I read the script, when I just heard Allison Janney, I was like, I have to. She's amazing, and as her acting is one of these incredible actors, but she's also a great person, and I think it really affects the energy on set. Her and Tate are such down to earth people that it's so much fun. Tate is an incredible director. It's an extremely free set, and I think that when you feel free and you have that trust that Tate has given me, you can do anything, and you can explore, and you don't have to feel like you're in a box. So I think that Tate really is very amenable to exploring the character with you, and I think that's an incredible thing to have.
I loved the world. When I read it, it was kind of like all these unique characters in this seemingly normal world, which it wasn't. And I love that. I'm a huge Allison Janney fan. I'm a huge Tate Taylor fan. There was a lot of details in the writing, and I loved how all these storylines kind of wove together. They all seemed separate, and yet it was a part of one big, I guess, corrupt world, She goes by her gut, and I think that's what a lot of people lose nowadays. They go by what things look like instead of what things feel like. And, judging, from the outside, Sue does look like a victim, and she does look innocent, and she does. And listen, in certain truths, she is, but there is something off to the story, and she's certainly not the innocent victim that she claims to be. And I think Detective Harris is, that's what probably makes her, in my opinion, the best detective on the force. She's so incredibly talented. Every role she's so dropped into, so connected. Sue is a woman that we all have to trust and we have to believe. And Allison does bring a sort of compassion and this empathy to this woman who's lost her husband, but she has this other part of her that definitely that can twist, that can turn so easily in an expression, and then you can see her go from this victim to a woman that looks like she's literally the driving force. She can have this kind of sinister feeling. So I think she brings so many layers. I think she's going to bring like a sass, and a freshness, so that we really will see the contrast between, Nancy, who clearly is working at, I'm going to say, a lower brow television station, and Sue. And you can see Sue's always been overlooked. And then you can see where Nancy hasn't, so she kind of brings this bubbly, fresh beauty, but also ballsy. What's so great about Tate is he has a lot of trust, and he kind of leaves a lot up to the actor. We talked about, some stuff that I thought, but, he was very, interested to see, what you bring to it. And, he definitely always wants it to be real. He leaves room for improv, and I think, he wants to, be connected to, like, what's true about a character. Well, it's definitely a dark comedy, I'll tell you that much. And we haven't had any in a long time. That's what I love about this one, I mean, there's a lot of humor, and but there's so much subtlety in it. I think Tate's a genius at that, at all the nuances that make things work. And there's so many tragic events that are happening, but somehow you're still laughing. I don't know how that happens.
Well, she gets a little naughty, a little freaky, and that's sort of the core of who I am. So I thought it'd be fun to play a character that gets a little nasty. When I first read the script, first of all, it was like a page turner, and that doesn't always happen when you read a script. It was like reading a book, you're like engrossed, and I thought it was really cool. I love, there's a lot of women, and the lead character was really, and I love that. You're introduced to Leah in a very aggressively sensual and sexual way. And then we find out that she's a little bit different. Watching her, we were running lines last night, and I was like, I'm sitting here with a true great. She's so good at it, and I was like watching her do what she was doing, and I forgot what my lines were. Whoops. Allison, you're like, oh my gosh, she looks like such a sweet little lady that you would pass on a street and not paying attention. All of a sudden, she's like, you're like, and it's effortless, it doesn't seem like anything weird. I mean, she was freaking me out. I'm so excited about every woman working on this film. I think that's the thing that Tate does. He brings together really strong, great, colorful, wonderful casts, and that's exciting. I love Wanda Sykes. I think she's like one of the funniest people walking the face of the planet. Allison Janney is a hero. Juliette Lewis I've worked with her before. She's a free spirit. She's also a legend. Regina Hall, Mila, Nora / Awkwafina. I mean, I've probably left somebody out, but and that's a lot of heavy hitters on a call sheet. It's a fun day at work. One of the really cool things about this script is how people now, it feels like, are driven by, likes and clicks and views, and they want some sort of notoriety at almost any price. And I think about that a lot, and I think that that's one of the things I loved about this script, because it really could happen and probably will.
Rita wants to get into the crime business. I think she's just bored. She's a woman of a certain age. She sells furniture. I think she feels like, she's done it all, and now she wants to live outside of the box. She wants to, and instead of like, maybe going skydiving or something legal, she wants really some danger with some stakes. So high stakes. So she is searching for a life of crime now. The film it's great because it has that blend of comedy and then drama, excitement. You don't know who's gonna get it next. I love Amanda. Oh man, Amanda Idoko, she wrote a great script. When my agent sent it to me, I was like, it was automatic. I was like, yes, I want to do this. All these strong women, ensemble cast, and I just love the writing. I love the character Rita. They all were so specific. It wasn't just like, oh, woman one, woman two, woman three. It was these great characters. And so, yeah, I thought she did a great job. I told Amanda that she has to put me in all her movies now. So. You know what? One thing in common, I would say that they're looking for either excitement, for love, for fame. I guess they just want to be seen, want to be heard, want to matter. And what else can I say about them? They're funny, they're quirky. And then but there's a lot of heart there. There's a lot of heart too. You know what? No, there's no heart. I don't know what I'm talking about. There's no heart. No. Oh man, working with Awkwafina was so much fun. Nora's great. We had a great time off camera and on camera. She's so funny and just nice and cool, so laid back. She's got great energy. Yeah, so it was fun getting to know her. Like I said, on camera and off camera. We just had a great time. Allison is Sue Buttons. Wow. Sue is out there. She is unraveled. And it starts off like just that little thread, loose thread on a sweater. And then by the time the movie's over, she's just standing there with a ball of yarn. Uh, but she's great. She's great. She's perfect in this role. Tate Taylor. Tate Taylor. We had such a good time shooting this movie. It was the most fun I've ever had shooting a film, really. We work hard, do those 12, 14-hour days. And then after work, it was party time. It's so much fun. We would, go back to Tate's house and we would cook together, on weekends, but weekdays, Tate has someone we get there and there's food prepared and started making martinis and just end up dancing, playing music. I was a DJ. They call me DJ Snippets because I just give you just a little bit of the song, then we move on to the next song because there's so much music out there. So I'm get a little taste of this, the song, and boom, move on to the next one. But we had such a good time, and the energy that Tate brings to the movie, it really just just brings the cast together that I mean, just so tight and close, and you just want to do a great job,
My agent called me and he goes, I have a script you have to read. And I said, "Guy, I can't have time to read anything right now." And he goes, "No, this is you." So I said, "Okay." And I put it off a day. And he said, "All right, it's time sensitive." And I said, "Okay." So I picked it up and that was it. It was me. This is my sense of humor and my tone right down the middle. So we made it work. It was very real, very raw, very offensive, which made me smile. When I came across the character of Sue Buttons in the script, Allison Janney immediately popped into my mind. Like, it was her. After that page, I could not get her out of my mind as that character. And it plays into all of her skills. Allison can do anything, and this was a movie in which you can do everything tonally in one scene. It's a lot of hard work, but that's just who it had to be. It's just one of those rare movies that it seems like they just don't make them anymore, or they're too hard to make, and just great parts for women. And John and I, my partner, have set up we call it film camp. We're here in rural Mississippi. We all stay together and break bread together, and it's just a blast. One of the key themes for me is avoiding becoming irrelevant. No one wants to be irrelevant. No one wants to be invisible. And as we all know, we're guinea pigs in this great experiment called social media and iPhones. So we don't know what is happening to us. But I think with everybody's need to be liked and friended, and people are feeling left behind or irrelevant, and it's how we deal with this time and technology. It's fun, it's crazy, it's violence, but with Allison as Sue Buttons, there's a pathos to it that your heart's going to break for her. You're going to understand this feeling of feeling inadequate and overlooked. And I think that's when you can bring in the drama to a Black comedy and find that and thread that needle perfectly, it's a winner. I cannot believe what I just watched. Did that just happen? Let's go again.
Hey, stay with me for more on comedy movies. Now, famed comedy director Todd Phillips, responsible for such classics as Old School and The Hangover, quit his role as director on Borat when he received death threats shortly after filming the rodeo scene. Concerned for his safety, Phillips didn't feel comfortable continuing with the film. Remember to click here below to subscribe and tap the bell to always receive the latest trailers.